It's KD the one, and I'm back with another reaction video. If you want to support my TikTok and everything that we're growing, please check out this. But we are back with another Ty Buggy video, and I know it's been a minute. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, especially in these videos. It's just I want to get back to the informational type of videos that we was making. And this, y'all know me, if y'all do, this is a big topic for me. Weed-induced psychosis has become a real problem. This is a real topic, especially with the idea of legalizing marijuana. I know that this is going to be a bigger thing than what it used to be. This is going to be more of an active thing. But if y'all don't want to hear me yapping, y'all want to get into the video, let's get it.
I feel scared. It's for real. This is for real stuff. It's raw.
And that's why people in psychosis say things that make perfect sense to them and their storyline in their head, but make no sense to anybody else. I thought my dad was secretly the president. I thought that I was the most wanted person in America, that everybody knew who I was, and everyone was staring at me when I went out in public.
Craziest things I did while in psychosis. Turned out super strong with number one. I masturbated in prayer. I believe I was married to God and I was God's wife.
Weed-induced psychosis and weed-induced schizophrenia is a real thing, and we don't talk about it enough. So I recently saw a TikTok from this girl who said she completely cut out smoking because she recognized that her body was no longer processing it the way that it used to, and one of her biggest symptoms was paranoia. So I immediately started thinking about this story that my hairstylist told me about how her baby daddy developed weed-induced schizophrenia. Like, I'm not joking. So of course I'm curious. So I was asking her, like, what symptoms did he show? Because when I think of schizophrenia, I think of people seeing things that aren't there or hearing things that they're not really hearing. But she told me that his symptoms were nothing like that. Really, the biggest thing was paranoia. And the way that it manifested was he really thought that, like, all of his friends and family, people closest to him, like, they were against him. They were talking behind his back, like nobody wanted to see him win. And like slowly but surely, every single relationship started falling off, and eventually it developed into full-blown schizophrenia. Something I think we don't really consider with people who are smoking, especially when it comes to our Black men, is that if you have an underlying mental health condition like PTSD, depression, bipolar disorder, anything like that, you are so much more likely to develop schizophrenia, psychosis.
Now, this is why it's such a serious topic for me. For someone like me, I know I have been doing this for like a little while now. Been doing it before I needed to. But when it came to, I always had chances to ask myself, why am I doing it? And I never wanted it to be an escape for certain things, or excuse for escape for certain things, such as depression, my anxiety, and stuff like that, because the more that you think that it works, it doesn't. For someone who probably have been smoking for a minute, y'all probably sitting here on some shit like, oh man, I've been hitting this shit, it don't really have no effect. It doesn't happen to everyone. Everybody takes this shit differently. Your body, all y'all bodies are different. So my worry about this shit being legal, how many people are going to use this that doesn't need to use it? Now, I still don't think it's as serious as alcohol, the pills, and all the other shit that's out there. But when it comes to, this is a serious problem. There is no substance that you could consume that's going to have a positive effect on your body if you overconsume it. And it's the same for this.
From smoking weed. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to live their life, but I'm just saying, like, I think you guys should at least be aware of the symptoms and, like, be aware of how this can progress. But it's crazy.
So crazy to think of weed in that light, because weed is one of those things that's like everybody is doing it. So you wouldn't think it can possibly put you in like a psychosis or trigger some type of schizophrenia or something like that. But when you think about it, everyone is not made equally. Like, although we all want to equally enjoy the same things, like if somebody enjoys something, you're like, all right, I want to enjoy it too, but we're not made equally. And we usually don't find out how unequal we are until something crazy happens. I think I knew at an early age, like when I was in college and I had my days with Chief Keefin, listen, man, it would either be really
Chief
good,
Keefin.
like, I mean, I'm telling Eddie Murphy jokes, having everybody crying, laughing, or I am somewhere bugging out, curled up in a tub with the doors locked. It was either A or B, y'all. I always knew it wasn't for me. But I am somebody that has gotten diagnosed by a psychiatrist with anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Now, I think those things were triggered in the military. I can only imagine what kind of episodes I'd be having if I was still smoking. And the thing about it is most people don't actually find out what they have. Like, I took myself to the psychiatrist. A lot of people don't even go to a psychiatrist. They just say, oh yeah, this is just how I am. And then you don't realize something is off until something really happens.
Yo, did you know if you hit that za a little too much, you could catch you a bad case of schizophrenia? So hear me
You high
out.
right now.
Apparently, we got this shit in our brain called gray matter, and when you're chiefing on that za a little too hard, it can cause your brain to do weird ass shit. On the lower end of the spectrum, you have this shit called
This man is telling us how you can get a psychosis by smoking weed, and he's high.
Hey, I feel like this is the best example though. Same thing how he said everybody is technically built different. You can't enjoy the same thing that other people enjoy. Like, even when I sit here on this shit saying that like these lavender cigarettes, I would never recommend for anybody to smoke. If you or a loved one are trying to stop smoking, encourage them, try your best. Because when it comes to shit like this, it can be addicting. It could lead to psychosis. It could lead to actual serious problems above than just schizophrenia. It can cause seizures. It could cause underdevelopment in the brain. There's many things. And people don't really look it up or care to figure out what this shit does to you. If you are someone who's interested into something like this, at least be aware of what the fuck you doing before you sit here and actually do it.
I know you're high. I can see it in your eyes.
No, you can
Those
see
are
that
high
shit.
eyes. You're not slick, brother. He talking about, bro, did you know you can get a psychosis from smoking weed? Nigga, you high right now. Nigga, I can smell your sleeves. Nigga, sniff your sleeves. Nigga, sniff your sleeves.
I'm sure we've all been there. That's when
You know, I never heard that. Sniff your sleeves. Did that shit work? Like, nigga, I can't smell shit.
tweak out a little bit. Now, on the farther end of the spectrum, if you have some shit going on, some underlying shit like schizophrenia or any other mental illness, smoking on the za can make that shit way worse. Like, you can never know you had that shit, and then now you start smoking, your dumbass got that shit. Make sure to always know what you're hitting on, and you know yourself better than anyone else. So if you start tweaking off the pack, bruh, stop.
See, this is the thing. He said, make sure you always know what you're hitting on, like, as if you're laced or something. Your weed does not have to be laced in order for you to get.
Nah. Now, let me correct where he coming from. Know what you hitting on, because every strand is not the same, my guy. You could be sitting here smoking that fucking galactic space kush, and you sitting here on some shit mellowed out, not caring, vibing, not feeling nothing. And then you sit here on some shit, you smoke some giraffe pussy, you sitting there on some shit fucking feeling like you about to die, having fucking greening out moments, about to throw up. Like, know what you about to hit before you hit it. Do your research. If you really are interested into smoking, do your research, especially visual research. If you see people in your life do stuff like this and you see how they act, ask yourself if you could actually handle being like that. Trust me. Because when it comes to it, I swear it's more than just munchies, smilings, giggling. There's a lot of things that come with smoking marijuana.
Triggered into a psychosis. It does not. I'm going to say that one more time for y'all. Your weed could be a good strand of weed. It can still trigger you into a psychosis. This is why a group of friends could smoke together, but only one friend has a bad trip to the point where it puts them in the mental hospital. Because like I said in the beginning of the video, we are not all made equally. Before we get into that, I came across a website that y'all can make some side hustle money.
If y'all want to see what OG's talking about, check out the link in the description. I got my own link for the website. If y'all want to check it out, I'll make sure y'all boys ain't missing out.
Can ruin lives, and this is what it did to mine. If you don't know, psychosis is a mental health condition where somebody loses contact with reality. It's characterized by delusions, which are firmly held beliefs that are not grounded in reality, hallucinations, which are seeing, hearing, or feeling things that aren't actually there, disorganized thinking or speech, which is talking in ways that don't make sense or jumping between unrelated topics. Also having changes in emotion and behavior, and basically acting out of character. So my psychosis happened after my senior year of high school. I was only 18 years old. I was such a baby. I was a straight A student. I didn't do drugs. I didn't even drink at that time. And it really, truly came out of nowhere. Later, I would learn that I have bipolar disorder type 1. This was 13 years ago, and I've blocked out certain parts. So I can't say, like, this happened and this and this. It's more like memories that I try to piece together. But when someone enters psychosis, you feel enlightened and you feel like you know all the secrets of the world, where other people are sleeping and don't know anything. It's really common for people to believe they're the second coming, they're God, they're the most special person in the world. They have access to things that nobody else does. And you feel powerful.
Here's another thing, and this is just a warning to anybody who do sit here and smoke and is watching this video. Please don't overthink. That's the first thing that catches a lot of people lacking, especially when it comes to saying here smoking. Imagine looking something up and now you're saying here on some shit like you have a fucking discoloration on your arm or something. You look it up and it says, oh, you finna die in 5 hours. Like that's going to freak you out because you don't know what the fuck's going on. It's the same thing with that. Your body don't know what the hell's going on. You're basically sending something foreign into your body and it's figuring out ways to react to it. It can trigger certain things like your fight or flight response, making you have hella what's that shit called, adrenaline. And this can end up being the lead to your anxiety attacks. Actually, look it up. It's a very interesting phenomenon. The way that greening out works, or the way that psychosis works. If you look it up on your own time, I swear you will be interested in it. But don't overthink it, because sometimes you'll probably, damn, this is exactly me when I smoke. That's going to end up most likely fueling it. Don't let yourself just run off wild with your mind. That's going to always fold you. And if you're the type that's how you are when you smoke, maybe you shouldn't smoke.
And like you're special and you have all the answers.
That's like that one friend that turns into a philosopher every time y'all smoke together. Mm-hmm. They mess around and say something like, bro, you ever thought about it? As soon as you hear that, you just know something wild about to come after. Bro, time don't even exist. We just keep agreeing to look at the clock. You just sitting there like, man, pass.
The reason I'm saying shit like this is because I'm like that, to be fair. I'm a nigga who always sits here and gets useless knowledge for something and then use that useless knowledge later on when I think, I'm never going to use this. And then I end up like bringing it up exactly when it's needed. Even when I'm hot, I be sitting there, everybody will have like a problem or something. I'll be the first one that'll be like, well, I guess y'all niggas never thought of this. And like, it's just my easy fix to a problem. Like, I don't know.
The blunt man, they be on another planet. But all right, back to the video. No more jokes, y'all. No more jokes. This is a serious matter.
It kind of stems from how great you perceive yourself to be. And that's when the paranoia starts happening, when you think the TVs are talking to you. Like everything that people say, you have to decode. Everything is a riddle. And that's why people in psychosis say things that make perfect sense to them and their storyline in their head, but make no sense to anybody else. I thought my dad was secretly the president. I thought that I was the most wanted person in America, that everybody knew who I was, and everyone was staring at me when I went out in public. I was getting on Twitter every day doing my little nonsense. At one point, I thought my high school boyfriend was proposing to me. We had already broken up. And I was messaging people on Facebook, really cryptic things. It came to the point where my parents said, Laura, you know, you're going to college in 2 days. And I said, I am. And that's when they knew that they had to take me to the hospital. So instead of starting my freshman year of college at...
See, this is what I mean. I don't feel like everybody needs to experience getting high in any regard. Like, it's the same way for drinking. Not everybody can hold their liquor. Not everybody can sit here and smoke. I feel like we are all built different, like Ty said. But for something like this to happen, I feel like it's crazy because the way that she's describing it, in my mind, how would you know that, like, you need to stop if all this shit is happening? Oh, like, she forgot that she had to go to school. Now, I ain't even gonna lie, the same thing. Like, I told y'all, like, it kills brain. It, like, I wouldn't say directly kills, but it lowers brain matter. It keeps you relaxed, and it will keep you forgetful. And for anybody who has a bad memory, aka me, I don't think it's really good for you because of the fact that you're going to constantly start forgetting useful information. This is 10 times more than anything that I have ever experienced. More than 10, like 100 times more than anything I ever experienced. But through something like this just has me thinking, like, really, smoking isn't this magical fucking solution for everything. Like I said, I fear when they make this shit legal, because if they make this shit legal, there's going to be a lot of people who don't need to smoke who's going to start smoking.
Clemson. I was in a hospital bed in the emergency room and then moved to a psychiatric facility for, I think, like 10 days. And I was still heavily in the episode when I was in that facility. When I finally came out of it, I was so embarrassed, you guys. Like, just the way that I had completely acted a fool in public. And now I can look back and see things for what they were and say, like, okay, well, that was the illness. Like, that wasn't me. It was all out of character. But the embarrassment, it lingers. And there's still, when I see certain people on, like, I don't know, Facebook now, I cringe. And I just don't like to think about that time. I said at the beginning of this video that psychosis can destroy lives, and that's true. But I decided to rebuild mine. And I have an amazing life. I remember thinking at the time, who is going to love me? Like, everyone thinks I'm crazy. I ended up meeting my husband 3 years later, and we had no mutual friends. And he loved me, even after hearing everything that I had gone through and about my diagnosis. I feel like I'm in a unique situation to talk about my mental illness because I am a stay-at-home mom. I'm a content creator. Not everybody has the luxury to share this with the world. If you or someone you love has gone through psychosis, I am so sorry. It is truly one of the scariest things in the world, and I understand you so well. I just want you to know that things can get better.
The craziest things I did while in psychosis. Started off super strong with number 1, I masturbated in prayer. I believe I was married to God and I was God's wife. I believe I was a goddess, something like...
Thank you.
Wait, she said she did what?
Thank you, Boogie. Thank you. Thank you. Because that pause was needed, my guy.
She said she did what? Okay, this is a no judgment zone, a no judgment episode. But she said she did what?
But this is like real shit. Like, I wonder how many people's lives got actually affected by this, and we don't hear the negative effects. Think about it. For like, before you sit here and think about saying here and actually sparking up doing anything, ask yourself how many people's lives have actually been affected, and you probably don't hear about it.
The craziest things I did while in psychosis. Started off super strong with number 1, I masturbated in prayer. I believe I was married to God and I was God's wife. I believe I was a goddess, something like Oshun or one of those African goddesses.
Judgment free.
I believed that I was like nature and light and like just super beautiful. You get the vibe. And I masturbated in prayer. Number 2, I quit my job because I believed
course, we're going to give her the grace to say that that's not something that she would naturally do. So we're not going to judge her for that. Let's just highlight how much a psychosis can put you in a different state of mind. On first glance, I did not understand that. Now, I mean, you're probably sitting there in oblivion as well as you listen to this. But this is also why you got to give people grace, because you never know what people are battling in their heads. Like, people are really seeing things and experiencing things in a different way than you're experiencing them. Somebody didn't get them checked as a child or some type of trauma they experienced. You never really know what somebody else is going through and what got them to do what you're seeing them do right now. So while you're sitting there saying, oh, they're crazy, what is wrong with you? In their heads, for whatever reason, is making them do said thing. And I think that is a perfect example of the average person not being able to understand what somebody is going through in a psychosis.
My manager thought that he was my master and I was his slave. My manager never said this, but my manager is white and I'm obviously black. So I just came to this conclusion. I was just in my head thinking about it one day at work in the middle of psychosis, and my thoughts went from one to another. And I just quit my job and I yelled at him. I made a big deal. I threw food all over the place. I threw food at customers. I did a bad job that day. Yeah. Number 3, I got back with my abusive ex-boyfriend. Now, this man used to fucking do jujitsu leg locks on me like a snake wrapped around their prey. One time we were in a taxi cab and I had to call the taxi cab away from him, and the cab pulled up and he was in the taxi cab waiting for me, and he fucking put me in a leg lock in the back of a taxi cab, and the taxi driver did fucking nothing, just sat there and watched me in a fucking leg lock like a fucking snake.
Is that real?
Like a fucking prey on his... Come on, Kanye, say it correctly. Like snake with their prey. There we go. Number 4, I believed a rich white man was going to find me and marry me because I was so beautiful. I was going to be his chocolate milk dud. That never happened, obviously. But I would get dressed up, super cute, super fresh, take nice long showers, do my hair super nice, my nails done, go outside in hopes of finding that rich white man to take me away from my poverty life. Number 5, I gave away all my clothes, all my sneakers, all my furniture, my social security card, my ID, my laptop, my phone to Salvation Army. I packed up all my stuff in black plastic bags and put it out Salvation Army because I thought that a rich white man was going to come and marry me. I need all my belongings. I need to pack the least amount of stuff possible because we're going to move into his house. He's going to buy me new things, so I just threw everything away. Number 6, I believe that my soulmate, which I had not met yet, I believe I can feel his presence. So you know when somebody passes away and like their presence is with you? I believe that my future soulmate presence was with me in my room and that he was watching me and observing me. So I would act as such. I don't want to get into detail what I was doing, but I was doing some freaky stuff in that room. Like, anyways, I just believe that he was watching me and that his presence was with me in the room. Super crazy, right? 7, lastly, I believed I was a ballerina. I bought point shoes, dresses, skirts, t-shirts, the whole 9 yards. I even signed up for a fucking Nutcracker and auditioned. I believed I was a fucking ballerina, and in my past life, I believed that. Even though I never danced and did ballet a day in my motherfucking life. I've been here for 24 years, I never fucking did ballet once. But in psychosis, I believe I was a full-blown ballerina. Those are the craziest things I did while in fucking psychosis. I love y'all.
That was very interesting. That was very interesting, very eye-opening, very well explained. So I looked up some of the symptoms of having a weed psychosis, and this is what ChatGPT gave me. Hearing or seeing things that aren't there. Extreme paranoia. They're out to get me. Disorganized thoughts, racing mind. Detachment from reality or self. Derealization. I'm actually going to make a whole video about derealization one day. But these are some of the symptoms. And if you're doing this, imagine if you're putting your brain through this every single day and your brain is just taking a hit. You're going further and further from who you actually are or who you originally were. While you think I'm just getting high, you're slowly disassociating from reality, even when you're sober.
I feel scared. It's for real.
All right. Now, this is where I'm going to end the video, but I do got a couple of things I want to say. So my first part is, I'm not going to lie, he right. There's many things to this psychosis shit that really just had me thinking. Like, I wonder how people act normally when they not on that shit. Like, let's imagine like months off of weed, like no fucking withdrawals, no nothing like that. But like you actually have months off of it. I wonder how people actually would act. That's interesting. But it also has me thinking because there is long-term effects to marijuana. Marijuana can have long-term effects to your brain that will make basically like any drug, your body will start functioning weird without it, leaving you in worse of a state than what it is. Again, that's why I said make sure you look up what the fuck you do because it's not about the strand. Any type of weed can do this. That's the thing. Like he said, imagine putting your brain constantly through that same pressure, that same strain. You're going to feel it sooner or later. Now, I'm not going to say that weed is also a bad thing. There's a lot of cures, a lot of help, a lot of things that it can be used for medically, recreationally. There's a lot of things that people can do with the drug. But at the same time, it has me thinking because, like I said, if it becomes legal, there's going to be a lot of people going through activities like this. So put it down in the comments if y'all ever really been through something like this. Because, hell, I even had someone in the comments a little while back around when I first started making videos. When I first started making reaction videos and I went through a topic like this. He told me he stopped smoking. I ain't even gonna lie, that was probably one of the most highlighting moments of this YouTube thing. Like, I love when y'all give me feedback, and especially when it actually telling me shit like my video has effect on you. All my videos are for is just so y'all could think. But anyway, let me cut the yapping. If y'all want more content like this, just like, comment, subscribe. You know I'm going to leave Ty Boogie in the description. I always do. And check out the other shit that I've been working on. Trust me, I've been working on a lot of shit. That's the reason why I've been gone. Your boy got married. A lot of shit been going on. But I'll see y'all boys next time. Peace.